Are you ready? Because he's ready. It's Master Jeff, martial arts expert, instructor extraordinaire, and general clown. He's not afraid of coronavirus. He's not afraid of the bad guys. Master Jeff is not afraid of anything.
Hi, kids. What the heck is up on this Saturday? What are you guys doing up? I'm about to demonstrate for you my skill and precision with this real samurai sword. I am going to have Soren hold on to this almond, and I am going to cut it in half. But fear not, my precision with this sword is going to keep him safe as a baby in his daddy's dojo. Watch this. All right, little buddy. You hold on to this almond very tight, okay? And don't move. Old Dad knows what he's doing. 1, 2, hi-ya! Uh-oh. I think maybe I should have practiced a little bit with my sword before we did this skit. Don't worry, kids. It's a fake hand. It's just fake. See, it's not real. Ah! You big tricker. He tricked me. Look at this kid. We are going to talk about that when we get home. All right, let's put this thing down. The tricker hand. And let me go turn down the volume in my office because I forgot to turn it off. Soren, say hi to everybody.
Hi. Hello.
All right. So we just had spontaneous desire to just come in and work out. Soren and I are hanging around the house, and he said, "Dad, I want to do work on some Taekwondo." And I said, "Sure, buddy. On live stream, Dad." I'm like, "Live stream? Really? This is my day off." And he's like, "Dad, what am I going to say? Look at him." All right, so the first thing we're going to do is some warm-ups, some jumping jacks. All right, so Soren, get ready. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Very good. Let's see how he does his push-ups. All right, you ready for some push-ups? Okay, go ahead and lay down there. And here, I'll do them with you. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Look at this guy. 8, 2 more. 9 and 10. Good job. Now we're going to do a little stretching out. So let's sit down right there. And stretch out one leg. Stretch it good. Very good. Notice how Soren has one leg back. That's so that we can emphasize stretching the hamstring instead of his back.
Because if you had two, and then you would go like this.
Right. All right, let's switch legs. Very good. Very good. Stretch it out good. This is the kid, by the way, who was born in our bathtub. He doesn't remember that. He was a little smaller then. All right, let's shake him out, Mr. Soren. Very good, very good. Now let's pull our uniform pants up a little, feet and knees out, and stretch it out good. Stretch it good. If you're at home stretching, kids, make sure you do it just like Soren. Very nice. Very nice. Now let's cross our legs.
By the way, my belt is at my tummy.
Soren's belt is at his tummy. He let me know. All right, now I'm going to teach you how to stand up with no hands. So put your hands like this, Soren. Now let's see if we can stand up with no hands. Ready, set, go. Wait a minute. Okay, let's try it again. Here we go. Cross legs and stand up. All right, never mind on that one. Not important. All right, so let's see how Mr. Soren stands on his dragon form. All right, so back up a little bit right there. And chew me, face the camera. Chew me. Good. And always with your left leg. So if you're at home and you're facing the camera, this leg should come up. If I were doing it as an instructor, I would use this leg because it's going to be on the same side. It's going to be on this side, which is the leg you should use at home. Wait a minute. The one on this side is the one you should use at home. The one on that side of your room. So if I'm backwards, I use my left leg, which is on this side. If I'm facing you, I use my right leg because it looks like a mirror image of a left leg. Whatever the case, it's the left leg that should come up on a ready position. So let's try again. So yes? Yes, sir.
I want to start by myself.
Okay, no problem on you with no numbers. All right, check it. Chew me, left leg. And whenever you're ready, you can go. Wow, not much to work on there. Let's make sure it wasn't just luck. All right, let's try it again. Chew me. Huh? He remembered to use his left leg. And whenever you're ready, go. Wow. Wow. That was really good. Let's turn him around. All right, so Soren, turn around backwards this way. Chew me. Left leg. And whenever you're ready, you can go. Nope. Always start with your left leg. Ready, set, go. And turn this way. All right, paddle back to ready. So we're going to work on that a little bit. Keep in mind that it doesn't matter which way you're facing, to the side, front, backwards, it's always your left leg. You always do the form the same way. Here's one way to practice that. Soren, hang on. With a blindfold, because then he's not going to know which way he's facing. He's just going to do the form the way it's supposed to go. So first, let's have him do it the way he's comfortable, just to get his body in the groove. So let's face this way, Mr. Soren, to me. Ready, set, go. Good. Back to ready. Good. Now that's the way you do it. No matter which way you're facing, your body does the same thing. Do you understand?
Yes.
So with the blindfold on, he's going to have no idea which way he's facing. He's just going to do his form the way it goes. So to me, ready, set, go. Back to ready. Very good. Now then, I'm going to pick him up and turn him around. He doesn't know which way he's facing. Now he's all dizzy. All right, to me. And ready, set, go. Oh, always start with which leg? That was it. That was it. Good. Okay, back to ready. Let's try it one more time. Just chill, just chill. No, you gotta leave your blindfold on. To me. And ready. Oh, to me. Ready, set, go. Good. You see, he did it correctly. And you were facing the wrong direction. You see? So let's try it again. Now he's going to do it backwards one more time, facing the wrong direction. To me. And ready, set, go. Nope, which hand do you start with? Always. Nope. You step this way. Good. Good, good. Very nice. Very nice. Let's try it again. Chumbi with your left leg. And ready, set, go. And paddle. Very good. So let's turn him sideways.
Oh my God.
Remember, you always start on this side. You always step that direction. Chumbi. Ready, set, go. Keep going. Good. One more time. Chumbi. And ready, set, go. Good. Now let's turn him the other way. And Chumbi. Ready, set, go. You went that way and then this way. Which way are you supposed to go? Right. So let's try it again. Ready, set, go. He got it. He got it. So, mom and dad, big brothers and sisters or whatever, this is a good way to remove visual cues as a crutch for the kids to do basic one. Of course, at first, when they're first learning it, the visual cues are fine. But as you develop and you want to get better and better, you want to get rid of those visual cues. So you can do it in the dojo or your living room or the bedroom or a parking lot or the beach, faced any direction. They realize that, oh, my body always does this, and it doesn't matter whether I'm going toward the bags or the mirror or the flags or whatever. So a blindfold is a good way to do that. Plus, it's just fun to do forms with a blindfold. Now, let's see if Mr. Soren knows the tiger form. All right, Mr. Soren. So back up a little bit. And Chumbi. That's okay, we'll work on it. Ready, 1, 2. 1, 2. So the same arm and leg toward this way. 1. And then 1, 2, 3.
Hey.
Very nice. Let's try it one more time. Chumbi, I thought you said you didn't know this. You look good. Chumbi. And ready, set, go. Okay, let's start over again. Chumbi. Remember, you go this way, then the opposite way, and then this way. Ready, set, go.
Hey.
One more. One more punch. Good. Let's back up and try it again. And remember, Soren and dragons at home. When you're doing the tiger form, there's 4 moves up the middle, but one of them is a down block. So let's do some basic math. What is 1 plus 3? 1 down block plus 3 punches equals how many moves? 4. You got it. So there are 4 moves, but only 3 punches. Down block, and then punch, punch, punch. Total of 4. Down block, punch, punch, punch. You got that, Soren? All right, so back up a little bit. Chumbi. And 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and then 1, 2, 3. Very good. And then back up a little bit. You can also use, for moms and dads, big brothers, big siblings, teachers, whatever, you can use your phrasing and your voice for cues as to what comes next when they're first learning this. So you don't go 1, 9, 7, 10, 11, or you don't even go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Somebody who's more advanced can get it no matter how you count. But for a kid, if you divide each section into chunks, you go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and then 1, 2, 3. The reason I throw in the and then is so that it gets it in their head. There's a down block and then 3 punches. So 1,
and then 1, 2, 3 for a total of 4. And then also, of course, you go 1, 2, 3! And with this great big dramatic 3, then they're like, oh, this must be where I key up. And then, of course, as they get the form, you can do less and less audible cues like that. And then finally, you don't do anything and they've got it. So let's try it one more time. So here we go. Soren, to me. And let's back up a little bit so they can see the whole thing. Back up, back up, back up, back up, back up, back up, back up. And you want to try it by yourself or again with numbers? Okay, he's going to try it by himself. Ready, set, go! Wow, that was really good, except you did about 27 punches. So instead, do down block, 1, 2, hiya. Got it? Okay, let's try it again. So Soren, when you're coming this way, think to yourself, down block, 1, 2, 3. Okay? To me, and ready, set, go! That was it. Hi.
Hi.
Let's give him another little clue. Where is my magic marker? Who moved my magic? Oh, it's with my stuff. All right, so we are going to put an X on Soren's hand.
Wow.
Is this the hand that got cut off a while ago? See the little X? So he'll remember, oh, that's my key up hand. And of course, we use dry erase markers, so it comes right off. It comes right off. Oh, well, have to use soap and water. So let's go back here. To me. And here we go. Remember, you key up with the X hand when it comes time. Ready, set, go! He got it. Let's try again. Good job, buddy. So right back there. Hurry quickly, hurry quickly. Chumi. And he used the correct leg for Chumi. And ready, set, go. Dude, pound it, bro. It also helps if you do the pounded with sparkles. Like that. Very good. I'm impressed, big buddy. Now, have you worked on the backwards turn yet? To do basic one. You've worked on the backwards turn? Let me see it. So do the tiger form again and then freeze on your key up. So let's start right here. He's going to do tiger. He's going to freeze on the key up and we're going to proceed from there. So to me, ready, set, go. Freeze! And there's your key up height. Now, after you key up, you move your back leg and your back arm backwards. Ready, set, go. Whoa, he got it, except you go all the way to here. So let's try again. All right, we key up right here. So do your key up in your front seat. And then he's going to turn his back leg and his back arm backwards. Ready, set, go. Very nice. Let's try it again. Punch towards the front. This way. Here we go. Go. Wow. Another thing you can do, parents, teachers, older siblings, is give tactile cues. You can tap the leg or the arm that goes next, and a lot of times that'll help, because when you start going right leg and left arm, left hand, no, right, this, and they get confused. It's just an academic concept, but if you reach down and you tap their left leg, I tap their left leg and their back arm, move these, then boom, that signal goes to their brain, and so they know which leg is going to move next. Whether or not they move it the right direction remains to be seen, but at least that gives them a really good cue, a really good way to get started. Okay, so let's start at the beginning again. Soren, right over there. To me, up to the key up and freeze. Ready, set, go. Good. Now, back arm and back leg, ready, set, go. Yes, now it's just like we're doing the form facing this way. So there's 1, 2, 1, 2. Then the same arm and leg toward me. 1, and then 1, 2, 3. Very good. Now, back arm and back leg backwards. Go. Yes, but all the way down. Yes, 2. Now it's just like we're starting over. 1. Almost, but turn this way. You didn't key out to turn this way. 2. I think he's getting it. So let's try again. To me. And 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, and then 1, 2, 3. Now, do you know which one to move? 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, and then 1, 2, 3. Good, now move these. 1, 2, 1, 2. He did it, puddle, and shoulder. So I don't know if you noticed, but I did a fake tap that time because I saw that he was getting it. So you do the fake tap and you can almost feel it when you're used to that smack on the leg and arm. Then if I just make the gesture, in his mind he feels it. Like if I've been doing this and then I do this, it's almost like he can feel it even though it doesn't make contact, because you're accustomed to feeling it. So that time I just did the fake tap and he still got it. So that's like the next level up. Now let's see what he does with even less assistance. So let's try it again. Big buddy, you're back there. To me. And 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, and then 1, 2, 3. You remember what to do. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, and then 1, 2, 3. 1. Almost. Which leg did I? Yes, almost. Try again. You're right here. Breathe deep and calm down. No, punch this way, front stance. Breathe deep and calm down. Which leg and arm did I tap while ago? Remember? 1. Yes, but go backwards. 1. Yes. 2. 1, 2. And puddle. So as you can see, he's got the first backwards turn down. On that second backwards turn, he's facing the wrong direction, so that's still messing with his mind a little bit, so we had to backtrack, and I went to like the virtual tap. So let's try it one more time. Oh, and another thing, I picked this up years ago from a guy named Daniel Hames. Some of you might know him. He was an Aikido guy and a Taekwondo guy, and he was mentioning that after the tap, he just did a seemingly random step out of the way. But it's not random. You step in the direction that they're going to turn, and humans naturally tend to stick together. We're kind of like herd animals, you know. If I move over, this guy will move over. If I move toward him, he'll move a step away. And so you capitalize on that when it comes time for the turn, like this. So Soren, come right here, punch and key out. Punch and key out. Hi. So I said, okay, next move, and I went this way, which is going to cue him to start turning that way with his back arm and leg. And I didn't say anything. It wasn't seemingly to help him, but I moved this way. Whereas if I had gone, okay, next move, his body's going to want to follow me this way, even though he's supposed to be turning that way. So let's try the whole form again. So we're back there. Dude, you almost got basic 1, bro. To me. And 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, and then 1.
This is tiger form, not
2, 3. Now there's where tiger form is. Now what do? Remember the tap? 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, and then 1, 2, 3.
Now think about what I tapped and which direction you go. Ready, one. Oh, try it again. Punch that way with the right hand. Punch that way with your right hand, your key up hand. Now after the key up, remember you move these. That way. Ready, one, two, one. Go back this way. Two. You're getting very close. If you can get this backwards turn, you'll have the whole thing. So let's just work this. So stand right here and do down block toward me with your left hand. So come toward me, Soren. Now 3 punches. 1, 2, 3. Now remember, you're going to turn your back arm and leg all the way this way. So 1, all the way. Good. So let's try again right here. Woo! Back arm and leg that way. 1. Good. One more time. Punch toward the mirror. Key up. Other hand. Here we go. 1. Now, do you think you can remember that when we get there next time? I bet you can. To me. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1. And then 1, 2, 3. Good. Remember what to do. 1. Almost. This 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, and then 1, 2, 3. Now remember what we worked on. 1. Yes. 2. Back this way, or look the other way. Nope, look the other way. Look over this side. 1, 2. And puddle back to ready. Dude, you were like this close. Folks, in my professional 30 years of experience, he is this close to getting basic 1. It might be that close. Very, very close. But here's the thing. When you're teaching young kids, heck, even when you're teaching adults, but with young kids especially, I once heard this expression that really resonated with me and has proved true time and again. Teaching kids is as easy as A, B, C, D. That stands for always be changing to something different. So as you can see, Soren has reached the saturation point with his basic 1. So at this point, it's time to switch to something else. Even if he's getting close, that's it. He's starting to move backwards. We're getting to the point of diminishing returns. Now, if this were Mr. Miguel or Miss Claudia or a May or somebody like that, then I would just say, okay, dig in, focus, and they could push on past it quite a ways, quite a considerable ways. But with a kid, that's it. It's time to change to something different, which we're about to do. After this little senior belt break, I had a special request from a very special student to do basic 1 rewind. That is basic 1 as if you had gotten to the end of a videotape and you pushed rewind but left it visible. So you end up back to ready. So I'm going to give that a shot and just see what happens. So you wait, take a break and get some water, Soren, right there. So you wait right over there, Soren, and you can drink some water. All right, so with basic 1 rewind, we start at the last move, which was what? A left down block, and then we come back to ready. So I start with that last move, and then I back up into the preceding move. Now, how did we get here? We got here from over there. Remember, we did like this, right? So the last move, second to last move, the one before, and the one before that. Now, how did we get to here? With a backwards turn off of the key up hand, the right hand, the one with the X. So we need to get to here, height. We need to get to there from here. And which way did we go? Well, we moved our back leg. We came here, height. And we moved our back leg to here. So we do the same thing. We just rewind and we punch. Height. And then there's the second punch, the first punch, and the down block. How did we get to the down block? Well, remember, it's the same arm and leg unless you just key up. So we were here. We came to the down block. So we go to here. Then we back up and down block. We could come from here, so we back up and down block. Where did this come from? This was right after the key-out move. So we turn height, remember, because we did height, and we turn to here, backwards turn, so we just do it rewind, like that, right? And then there's a second punch, first punch, there's the down block. We came from over there with the front arm and leg. It's just a repeat of the beginning. And then we had come from here. So here's the whole basic one, rewind. There we go. So, special student, there is your basic one, rewind. Now, we're going to talk about self-defense a little bit. The first key to self-defense with someone Soren's age, and Soren, you can come on back up here, buddy. Come on back over here, pal. He's screwing the top of his water back on. Good job. And there he is. Let's get him right here. So the key to self-defense with a kid this age is, of course, not being there in the first place. In fact, I'd say that's the key to self-defense for anybody. The best way to keep from getting your butt kicked or stabbed or shot or something is to not be in the fight in the first place. So one thing we teach is stay near your parents, just to stay near your parents. And in the unlikely, but probably inevitable situation where you get lost, Soren, do you know what to do when you realize you're lost? Do you go running around screaming like crazy looking for your parents?
No, you just stay where you are.
Very good. Say that again a little louder.
Stay where you are.
And look him right in the eye right there.
Stay where you are.
Stay put. That's right, kids. If you find yourself lost, just stay put. Here's why. If you're looking around for your mom and she's looking around for you, the odds decrease exponentially that you'll find each other. Exponentially means a lot. There's a very good chance you won't find each other. But your mom is going to remember the last place she saw you. Trust me, moms and dads care very much for you. So they will come looking for you. Trust me, once they realize you're lost, they'll come looking. So we're going to do a little skit. Soren and I are going to be in a fake toy store, let's say Toys R Us, and he's going to see a dinosaur that he really likes. He's going to stop and not stay with his dad, and he's going to be lost. At which point, he's going to go running around like crazy, and he won't be able to find his dad, and his dad won't be able to find him. Let's see what happens. Come on, buddy. Aren't we having fun at Toys R Us? Oh, look at those dinosaurs. Aren't they cool right there? And now Soren is lost. So he runs around looking for his dad. And his dad comes back to the dinosaurs. Where's Soren? He's not in the dinosaurs. Let me look for him over here. He's not over here. And he's not over here. Where did Soren go? Oh, no. Now he's really lost. Now then, this time Soren is going to remember what he's supposed to do. He's going to realize he's lost, and he's going to stay put right with the dinosaurs. So let's do it. Come on, buddy. Let's go to Toys R Us. Oh, look at those dinosaurs. Aren't those cool? Oh, no, I've lost my Soren. Where is he? I can't find him anywhere. Soren. Wait, he was by the dinosaurs. I'll go look over there. Soren, I found you. Oh, I love you. I love you. You see? You see how that happens? So if you get lost, kids, stay put. Come on back over here, buddy.
Dad, the scary part That actually happened when we were making some sort of costume or something. We actually pretended that was lost in a real store.
Yeah, I have done this before with my kids. You're probably thinking, you're sick, man, just sick. If we're in a toy store or the costume store or whatever, I will sneak off. If they stop paying attention, I'll go around an aisle and keep an eye on them and see what they do. And sure enough, old Soren, he looked around, he took a couple of steps this way, Dad, and then you know what he did? He went right back to where he was and he stood there and waited. I gave him a couple of minutes, and to a kid, that is an eternity. Finally, I came around the corner and he's like, whew, there you are. And I said, Soren, very good job. Give me 5, buddy. Oh, yeah, he knows what to do. He knows what to do. All right, you feel like doing some kicks?
Yeah.
Or would you rather do sparring? Sparring, he says.
By the way, Jack, the thing is, last time, what was so good? So when Mom and the girls and I went to the fair to drop off our fair stuff, it got lost and I couldn't find my mom. And she wasn't in a line, so I just stayed there.
What? Let's tell that story again. Soren has a story. I didn't even know about this one. So tell the story. Look at him right there and tell the story about the fair. So what happened?
So, what happened is Mom, Zoe, and Ezra and me went to the fair. So, and I lost all of them, and I couldn't find any Mommy in the lines. I just waited there and just looked.
You just stayed put? And then did your mom find you?
Mm-hmm.
She sure did, didn't she? Good job, buddy. Pound it again right there. All right, let's spar a little bit. Oh, boy. All right. Tension now. Sparring ready. And seats up. Give me real punches. Oh, not that hard, dude. I'm just kidding. You can go hard. Always guard your head. Wow. Oh, missed him. Now listen, if I'm punching you, don't wait your turn because I'm not going to give you a turn. You just have to interrupt and punch me anyway. So ready, set, go. Punch me anyway. Oh, good job. Now try a kick right there. Other leg, right there. Very good. Shoelaces, Daddy. Oh, yeah. So here we go again. Now the other leg, shoelaces. Good. Now kick me, even if I'm doing something, kick me anyway. Ready, set, go. Kick. Kick hard. Kick me. Very good. Oh, good. Even if I'm doing something, punch me anyway. Punch me anyway, right there. Oh, now let me see that other hand punch. Oh, okay, stop, man, stop. You're killing me, bro. All right, let's go back to where we were. Pay attention now. Good. So for little dragons, again, instructors, parents, older siblings, the main thing you can teach them, one of the first things is don't wait your turn. Because in a real spar, of course, your opponent is not going to give you a turn. They're going to try to make sure you don't have a turn. So it runs counter to common courtesy, which is you don't interrupt. Can you see that Mom and Dad are talking? Don't interrupt. And that's good. But they have to learn sparring is not like that. With sparring, you have to assert yourself and just step in and take control of the, quote, dialogue. All right, let's do one more thing and then we'll get the smack out of here. Let's do some kicks. Wait a minute, I got a better idea. This is Bob. He's going to give us a hand. Oh, I'm so sorry, Bob. He doesn't have any hands. He was once in the army. Oh, I'm sorry. He doesn't have any arms. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. So Bob is going to help us out here. Soren is going to come over here.
Wow.
Kids, if a bad guy does happen to get a hold of you, you're not going to be able to do anything. Hang on just a second. Don't interrupt. unless you're sparring. Then you can interrupt, but don't interrupt when Master Dad is talking. So kids, a kick and a punch is going to be completely ineffective. It's going to do nothing to a grown-up bad guy. However, if you can get him in the eyes, this is a good thing, because even if the bad guy is as big as a mountain, without being able to see you, he's not going to be able to chase you. So God forbid some stranger or bad guy picks you up. The first thing you do is start screaming your head off, because people are going to take notice. And if your mom or dad hears, they're going to come over like a crazy tiger and rip them apart. But in the meantime, if they won't set you down, you can jab them in the eyes. If you can jab them in the eyes and get loose even for a second, boom, kids are quicker. You can hide, you can run, you can maneuver, much more so than an adult. So you go for those eyes, which Soren is going to practice now. All right, Soren. Now, instead of punching him in the eye, get your fingers like this, jab him in the eye. Sorry, Bob. Okay, give it a try. Good, you got it. Now, make your all 5 fingers like this, make them nice and stiff. And you can stand over there. Make them nice and stiff and do it quick. Ha! Like that. Ready, go. Oh, good one. Did you get him in the eyes?
I got it in the forehead.
In the forehead? Okay, let's improve our aim then. Ready, set, go. Oh, did you get him that time? You sure did. Let's try it again. Ready, set, go. Oh, yeah. Now let's pretend Bob has picked you up. He's carrying you. Now you get him this way. Like that. Ready, set, go. Boom, right in the eye. Got it. Ready, set, go. Good. Very nice. Another crazy thing you can do is bite him on the ear the whole time screaming. I know this sounds like really mean stuff, and of course you don't do this to mom when she picks you up when you're in trouble. But you do if there's a bad guy. You can jab him in the eye, you can bite him right on the ear and scream. You just make it so much trouble for this bad guy to hold on to you that he eventually thinks, you know what? I'm going to go for some kid who's not such a monster. Good. You want to be a monster with a bad guy. Then later on, you can go home and wash up and resume your courteous behavior. So come on up here again, Soren. So finally, self-defense thing. What type of person, for you adults, what demographic is statistically the safest? In other words, who is the safest person to find to help you? If you stay where you are and your parents don't show up, who's the safest person to turn to for help? Do you know? Is it a man walking around by himself?
No.
That would be your worst choice. Sorry about my gender, but the vast majority of violent criminals are men. You can look it up in statistics. It is the men. Rarely do you find a violent criminal woman. Of course, like Bonnie and Clyde aside, you do have those once in a while cases where a woman is a violent criminal, but those are pretty much anecdotal. They rarely happen. Usually it's a man. And then a lot of kids will even say, oh, a police officer. Yeah, police officers are vetted, but still, if it's a man, if there's going to be a bad guy police officer, it'll probably be a man bad guy police officer. I love the police. I respect them immensely. Anytime I see law enforcement, I walk up and shake their hand and thank them for what they do. However, there is an even safer type person. And I'll give you a hint. It's a person with some other smaller persons. Who is it? We've talked about this at Agape Low Dragons class. A with Do you remember?
Mom.
A mom with
Kids.
A mom with kids. Anybody could be a bad guy, I suppose, but the odds of a mother with children being a violent kidnapper criminal are, statistically zero. Maybe you could find a few cases in history where it's happened, but it's really rare. So kids, if you can find a mother with children, that is a good, safe bet for somebody to help you. Not an employee at the store, not a police officer, not a security guard, most definitely not a man walking around by himself. Now, the thing is, chances are any of those other people will be fine. Those are the overwhelming odds, because violent bad guys, kidnappers are very rare. But if you want to go with the best odds, a mother with children is going to be your highest odds, almost overwhelming odds, that they're going to be a safe bet to help get you to safety. Yes, sir.
But you could also do if you can't find anyone, and you could kick the bad guy in the face.
You could kick the bad guy in the face. If you get the opportunity to, and if you get to be as big as Master Settles, that is correct. If Master Settles were to kick a bad guy in the face, oof, he's going to have a visit to the orthodontist in his very near future. All right, let's bow out of here, guys. See ya, Bob. All right, let's get right here, Soren. Come on right here. Cheerio. Cookie Tahayo. Kinet. Paro. And Mukyam. God, thank you for this opportunity for us to train together. In Jesus' name, amen. Cheerio. Kinet. All right, guys, we will see you next time. Oh, wait, hold the train. Remember that our classes next week, I'm pretty sure they're going to stay at 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock, my classes anyway. Master Settles might do a later one or an early one. Anybody can do any time. But I'd like to hear your input as to what time range you're free. Don't call and say 3:30 on Thursday. That's good, but I need a general time range, because then that makes it easier to put together the best time for everybody. So not a time that's best, but a time range that you're at all free, because I'm going to have to shoot for numbers here when the most people are free. And of course, with the live streams, you can always do a rewind. And what I'm thinking for next week is to do a few Zoom classes where I will assess what's going on, what needs to be addressed, and then the next day do some live stream classes. The live streams are better for just watching and gleaning information. I can cram a packet full of information and not be distracted or sidetracked by questions and whatever. There's limited questions on chat, but I can just move ahead. They're content packed. However, we also need the Zoom classes for feedback, because I need to see the kids and make sure they're absorbing the information and doing it properly. Anyway, email me, just reply to any of the emails. And, it looks like we had 6. We had as much as 11 while ago watching today. Isn't that cool, Soren? So come on over here and let's say bye to everybody. There he is, complete with both arms. All right, folks, we are out of here.
This has been a South Miami Taekwondo live stream with Master Jeff. Avoid practicing the techniques learned in live stream with Master Jeff. Drunk, stoned, sloshed, tipsy, buzzed, blotto, slammed, plowed, jolly, play-eyed, hammered, wasted, inebriated, or otherwise intoxicated. Watching live stream with Master Jeff, you acknowledge the possibility of and waive all liability for human total laceration, occipital fracture, broken nose, or deep mandibular dislocation, strained wrist, hyperextended elbow, broken ribs, bruising, or bleeding, tear, sprains, fractures, dislocated shoulder, or concussion. All rights reserved. Unauthorized presentation and publication strictly prohibited.